states and jurisdictions to implement discriminatory, burdensome, and unnecessary restrictions on access to the ballot, including those related to mail-in voting, the use of drop boxes, and voter ID requirements.
Voter ID requirements. That was Attorney General Merrick Garland vowing last weekend that the Department of Justice will confront any state that implements tougher election security measures, including rules to show your ID. In Houston on Friday, the Republican National Committee elected Michael Whatley to replace Ronna McDaniel as chairman and Lara Trump as co-chair. Both received the endorsement of former President Trump, who told me exclusively in an interview last month at Mar-a-Lago that changes were coming to the RNC leadership, and certainly they have. Joining me right now is the woman herself, the new co-chair of the RNC, Lara Trump, who begins day one on Monday, tomorrow. Lara, great to see you. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, Maria. I really appreciate it.
What is your priority leading the RNC right now?
Well, you just heard from the top law enforcement officer in the country, Merrick Garland, that he doesn't want voter ID anywhere, that he wants to basically give access, as I just heard from him, to anyone, whether they are legally able to vote or not. That is a huge problem. We have three pillars that we need to focus on at the RNC to ensure victory on November 5th. Turn out the vote, protect the vote, and raise money. But I would argue that maybe the most important of those three is protecting the vote, election integrity. We have to ensure that when people go vote, they feel like their vote counts, that they are inspired to go vote. We can never allow what happened in 2020 and the questions surrounding that election to ever happen again. So I'll tell you right now what is already underway at the RNC. We have, for the first time ever, an election integrity division. This means vast resources dedicated solely to this cause. We are going to have, and we've already started working on, and I'll tell you Monday, we're going to expand all of it, a nationwide network of volunteers, whether it's poll watchers, trained poll workers. These are people who can physically go in, count ballots that are coming in, know how many are coming in, how many are going out, volunteer and paid attorneys. If you are an attorney who wants to volunteer, we want you. DonaldJTrump.com, GOP.com. Please come volunteer. And we currently have 78 lawsuits out right now in 23 states across this country to make it easier to vote and harder to cheat. And here's what I want to say to anyone out there who is thinking about cheating in an election: we will go after you. You will be prosecuted to the full extent of the law. It is not worth it. Every person in this country, Maria, whether you are Republican or Democrat, should want free, fair, and transparent elections. That's what we're going to focus on.
Well, look, you just heard AG Garland. You are going to be fighting up an uphill battle because they do not want voter IDs. He said he's going to vow to stop states that have voter IDs. And you have to question whether or not this is about the 10 million illegals who have come into this country on Joe Biden's watch. I had a friend the other day tell me she was standing at a food truck. Two gentlemen approached her. One had tattoos all over his face. They looked like illegals, she said. And one had a clipboard, and he said to her, "Hello, miss, do you want to sign up to become a Democrat and vote?" So you're talking about people that you want to hire. They're already doing that. And they may be doing it with illegals coming into this country.
Yeah, well, you do have to ask yourself, why would you not want something so basic like voter ID? And I think you're right. People say, why do we have a fully open southern border? Why is it you are willing to allow fentanyl to pour over and kill 100,000 Americans a year? Why is it you're allowing 169 people on the terror watch list last fiscal year to come over? And I think the only thing people can figure is that the Democrats are bleeding and hemorrhaging voters. They understand that they cannot fool people in this country any longer, so they have to import people. And the only reason you wouldn't want voter ID is if you want people who cannot vote to vote in these elections. It is insane. But it's exactly the reason, Maria, that this is our number one focus at the RNC. You know, you look at things like ballot harvesting. This is a tactic that the Democrats have used for decades. We are going to have a legal ballot harvesting operation at the RNC. It is already underway, and we will expand it again starting on Monday, starting next week when we are in that office. I can guarantee you that over the next 8 months, you are going to see things happen at the Republican National Committee unlike you have ever seen before, because this is a must-win election. If Donald Trump is not elected on November 5th of this year, I do not believe we have the same country on the other side. If these people are able to use their communist tactics like they have to try and stop this one man, if they are able to continue to destroy this country, we'll never get it back. So we are laser focused. We're ready to go and we're ready to work hard.
I mean, is it too late already? The Democrats' machine is ongoing and has been on. Remember what Kamala Harris, the vice president, said the other day? She says now they're going to pay people to come out and get engaged into voting. She said government, and this is all taxpayer dollars. People should understand this is your money being used to pay college students to register voters. She said college students could soon earn money for registering other voters right now. They'll receive money through the Work Study, a federal program that pays most of students' wages while employed at a part-time job. Taxpayer money.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Imagine Donald Trump using taxpayer money to influence the outcome of an election when he was president. People would have gone berserk over it. But this is very, very problematic. It's not too late. I think that what we have to understand right now is that every tool in our war chest we have to bring out because they are desperate. They are floundering. They are trying to sell a product to the American people in Joe Biden that they don't want. Look at the polling between Joe Biden and Donald Trump. If the election were held today, Donald Trump would win handily, no problem, hands down. We have to ensure that over the next 8 months, we get people out to early vote, we ballot harvest like nothing we've ever seen, and we ensure that every person who is legally able to vote can do so, and anyone who legally is not able to vote cannot do so. We have to protect that vote once it's in, and that is how we are going to win on November 5th.
All right, Lara, we will be watching your work for sure. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. All right, RNC co-chair Lara Trump joining us this morning from Florida. Quick break.